Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose. I'm the Goose. You know, we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. We're going to, I think, hit on all of those buttons on this show. But first, we'll start like we always do with some good hot, steaming hot coffee. My caffeine, as you know, very high levels of caffeine, still legal. My coffee, very strong, just like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. Okay. You know, when you were a kid and when I was a kid, we had pranks, right? We had a lot of fun, just having fun, right? We're not to harm anybody. Although I will admit, when I was a teenager, statute of limitations has run out by now. When we were teenagers on Halloween, we wreaked havoc in the small towns. Of course, not our small town. We went, to the town down the street, and oh my goodness, we were bad boys. But it's just having fun. Unfortunately, and I'm going to give you some examples here in a few minutes of some other pranks. And when I love to read your comments. Give me some examples of your own pranks when you were kids. Unfortunately, some kids in Manila, just having fun, but they went too far recently. A group of 5 or 7 kids, I think it was, came upon a balloon vendor, okay? Guys selling balloons. They lit one of the balloons on fire. Unfortunately, the vendor himself was injured, burned on the arm and the face, his head. They had to go to the hospital. He was seriously hurt. Well, they caught the kids, and Yome, is that what they say, June? Yome? Yarme. He's not my man.
Basically, it's mayor.
Mayor.
But he kind of flipped it.
Yeah.
Yorme.
Okay, Yorme, yeah. Isko Moreno. Don't be fooled by Isko Moreno. He's a very docile-looking man. Looks pretty harmless. Yeah, you don't have to be afraid of him, right? Oh, no. He's a very strong mayor, and he means business. And we've already given you several examples of that. One that I still laugh about is the sidewalk vendors in Manila making the mess and not cleaning it up. He said, "Oh, you're done. You're gonna have to." He shut them down and said, "If and when I allow you to do business again, you're going to have to clean up your mess." And they said, "Oh, yes, Mr. Mayor, we'll do that." And, he caught him making a mess again and shut him down again. And I'm not sure what the aftermath was, but you don't mess with Isko Moreno. He means business. He's a very strong mayor. And he found out about these young men who pulled this prank. And I'm sure, again, these kids didn't mean harm. They're just teenage boys having fun, Unfortunately, the vendor was injured. Moreno paraded these kids in front of the cameras and chewed them out. And during a news conference, by the way, the name of the vendor was Oliver Rosales. 2nd-degree burns on his head and arms. That was very, very serious. So we're not sure what the punishment will be for these young men. I didn't get that, but Rosales has offered to settle the case for 35,000 pesos. My last figure showed that was about $700 US dollars. So it's a hefty sum. So we're not sure what's going to happen, but it was a good lesson for these young men. Not just a slap on the wrist. Don't do it again. You're a bad boy. No. Brought them in front of the cameras and shamed them in front of everybody. And you know what? That reminds me of when we were kids. That was still legal. You got out of line in school, for example. Teacher had every right to smack you around. I could go into details about that. I wasn't smacked around. Well, not like one story, but I won't get into that. I do have a scar to go with that. What's that?
One thing.
What's that?
Those kids.
Yep.
They think they're in a gang.
Oh, really?
And it's a form of initiation.
Oh, initiation for a gang. Well, that's Who knows whether it worked with the gang, but it didn't work with the big gang member, and that was Isko Moreno. He did not appreciate that. But again, like I was saying, when we were kids, you got out of the line in school. They didn't wait for your mom or dad to pick you up and suffer the punishment there. They were heavy-handed. They made it hurt. And you know what? I'm not in favor of abusing kids per se, but you know what? I miss those days, to be perfectly honest with you. I won't get into details, but I have one example where I made a teacher mad and I paid the price. I was like 15 years old. Paid the price and I have a scar for it. Came home, told my dad, oh, by the way, the teacher who hurt me took me to the doctors. Those were the days, right? But when I got home, I told my dad what happened. His first statement was, what'd you do? He didn't say, oh, we're going to get a lawyer. No, he said, what'd you do? He knew the teacher had a good reason for doing what he did. And sure enough, Isko Moreno and the law enforcement officials in Manila had good reason for what they're doing in dealing with these young men. And, they learned a valuable lesson. You can have fun. We're all in favor of fun, but you know what? Fun shouldn't send people to the hospital. And that was unfortunate. Anyhow, what kind of stunts did you pull when you were a kid? And yes, I still have the coronavirus. Excuse me. I'll be okay, really. We had a lot of stunts when we were kids. Anyhow, just having fun. I can give you a few. Jude, my great producer, reminded me of one. This is just a childhood prank. You'd ring the doorbell and run away. Okay, and maybe do it 2 or 3 times because as a 13, 14-year-old kid, you're quicker than the old man or woman who answered the door. Or one of my favorites, although we didn't do this one, but this is a classic. You would fill up a paper bag with dog poop. Yeah. Light it on fire, set it in front of somebody's door, and ring the doorbell. Well, what do you do if you answer your door and something's on fire? You stomp it out, right? Yeah, that was a popular one. I'll give you a couple more. And again, just having fun. I was in the radio business for many, many years, and we had some classics. One of them, people are so gullible. We put out an announcement. The phone company's blowing out the phone lines today. Just leave your phones off the hook all day. This is before cell phones, of course, giving my age away. People would fall for it. One of a classic, I'll keep this clean, okay? It was on the air, so it wasn't that bad. One of my partners who I just saw, former coworkers at a radio station, just saw him a few days ago. He had his wife call the radio station on the air and say, sweetheart, I miss you. I want you to come home. Take off my bra, take off my lingerie, and never wear them again, and hang up. You can never tell. That was good stuff. Another one, this is just so childish, but when you're a child, we would get 3 or 4 of us together. We'd pick a number at random out of the phone book, and one by one, we would call the number and say, yeah, is Jim there? Can I speak with Jim? Oh, there's no Jim here. Jim doesn't live here. Do that 3 or 4 times, and then somebody would call and say, yeah, this is Jim. Did anybody call for me? It's just, it was great. And let's see, another classic one, and I'll finish with this one. We would go into a grocery store parking lot, bigger city, and buy a case of pop, not 12-pack, but I mean a case, 24 cans of pop, put it on top of our car, right? And then just slowly putter on the parking lot. And people would chase it down. Hey! Yeah. Oh, really? We didn't see that. Thanks. I appreciate that. The minute they walked away, we'd do it again. Just childish stuff. But, we didn't, no one was hurt. Okay, that was the key. We all love to have fun, even at the expense of each other. And if you have a good sense of humor, you can laugh at yourself too. But don't go into Manila and pull a prank that ends up hurting somebody like these kids did recently because the new sheriff in town, Isko Moreno, is having none of that. I'm sure he likes to have fun too, but you're not going to go into his town and pull that prank and get away with it. So good to see. We need more mayors like Isko Moreno. And I think I mentioned this to you not long ago. We're going to go back to the Philippines in June. And this time around, we'll swing through Manila. And I'm very confident we'll get an interview with Isko Moreno. He's very open doors. He loves to do interviews. And I have heard that he knows Pacquiao pretty well. So we'll be during the legislative session. Hopefully we'll get an interview with Pacquiao, knock on wood. All right. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thanks so much for joining me. Got more shows to come. And thank you for all you folks who have subscribed. That number just keeps growing. We're very grateful. All right. Talk to you again next time. Take care.